and this recording will be sent out probably later on this afternoon. Attached to that recording is going to be a survey. We value your opinion as students and alumni here at WGU, so we're certainly looking for your feedback. If you could just take the time to fill that out, should take you no more than 2 minutes to fill that out. Greatly would be appreciative. And like I said, session's going to be recorded. So if there's anything that maybe you missed or you tapped out for a second, you could always go back and rewatch the recording. The chat is open. We will have a designated Q&A at the end of the session. So I would say, hey, hold off on questions until that designated Q&A. You can post those into the chat, or if you want to raise your hand and come off mute, you certainly can do that. Whatever you are most comfortable with, we can accommodate. So feel free to post those in the chat or raise your hand, and we'll allow you to come off mute. But thank you again for jumping into the session today. This is one of our Career Quest sessions. Hopefully this isn't your first session. If it is, we do have some fantastic sessions running the rest of the week, but hopefully you've already tapped into a few of those sessions. And from here, what I am going to do, I'm going to pass it over. Stacy, I think I'm passing it over to you first, so I will allow you to jump in.
Perfect. Thanks, RJ. So the alumni team is leading this lovely discussion today, but we strongly feel like the best way to connect with you is to let you hear from somebody that is like you. So we have an alum guest speaker today. Afid is going to tell us about his WGU career. He did his master's in cybersecurity and information assurance from WGU. He recently relocated to North Carolina from Idaho, so he jumped all the way across the country. So he's had experience with WGU from multiple geographical areas. So sir, I will go ahead and turn the time over to you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your experience.
Hi everyone, it's Afid here. It's amazing to see how many people here are interested today. I'm gonna be short and sweet. It was a unique experience to get into WGU because at the time where I was pursuing bachelor and master degree in cybersecurity, we did not have a cybersecurity program in my local area. So it was a completely a new experience to go from structural base of traditional college to completely online. I was against that idea completely. Who's going to tell me what to do? Who's going to tell me and guide me or go through the curriculum? I am not able to do this on my own. But at that point of time, I did not want to leave. So I had no option other than to go for an online program. Now, I think that was one of the best decisions because it grows and matures us in so many different ways. Now, when you are in WGU, it makes me think that I am in control of my time. I am my boss. I have to be accounted and hold responsible how I will spend my time. Being a full-time employee with a family, you get to prioritize your time. You're not tied to a desk to go to school. So it was a great blessing to have that flexibility. And then it changed your mindset. I'm working hard, I'm paying for time, so let me make the most out of my time. I'm no longer paying for a class. I am not paying for credits. I'm paying for that 6 months period. Whatever I can do in that 6 months. So it was great to see how that mindset, that thinking of a traditional college switch to be able to be such a successful in an online form where you are completely responsible on your time. In WGU, after graduating from bachelor and master degree, I stayed in touch with representatives that they were responsible for the Northwest region. And I enrolled on so many activity, collecting a new student and making some events, get them together because we never know who's going to the same college. I might have a neighbor here that goes to WGU and I would not know about it. So it was a really nice experience to reflect back and kind of give back to the community and to the next generation going to college to tell them about what I've done and why I selected WGU and the outcome that I received. and also guide them through, don't do the same mistake. Don't be afraid. Raise your hand and say that you are from WGU. You may know someone that goes there, and then you start connecting. WGU has so many resources, whether that in online forums, Handshake, alumni meetings, LinkedIn. All those events kind of get you to merge with other people. You grow your network. Now you have more opportunity for employment. If you're on LinkedIn, you will notice when you're applying for a job, that company, LinkedIn will say, you have 10 graduate from WGU who works here. So you know that this place that you are in, it's valuable. People recognize you from WGU because it's competency based. And at my work, I want to hire someone who's competent, who is able to do the work. I'm not going to hold your hand every day. If you're able to take those tasks on your own in the college and you're successful, then that's the person I want to be. I found the different jobs, which it got me all the way from the Wild West over here to the East Coast. And I was like completely new, no friends or connection with WGU. And luckily, someone found me on LinkedIn that I switched my location, and they saw my previous activity. And then they said, how do you feel about involving in an event? And I was like, that's one of the greatest things that I've heard now, because I can get back to my normal, we want to call it normal life of being busy with other students. I got involved in one of the events most recently, and that what got me here today in front of all of you. And the goal was that I can tell you a little bit and answer any question you have from a student perspective. I'm not someone who works for a facility. I'm not someone who's selling product. I'm someone who's was not sure about going to WGU because it's completely online, to someone who thinks this is the best things ever happened to me. I was in a master's degree, and one of the local college reached to me and said, you have a bachelor and we would love you to have a master's degree through our local college here. So I asked about price and credits. They were offering exactly same amount of credit that I needed through WGU. I think it was like 38 credits. And they told me it's going to take only 2 years, and it's about $18,000. So I looked at it and I'm like, what are you talking about? I literally just finished my master's degree in less than 9 months with 38 credits, and it did not cost me 50% of that. And I was a little lucky because out of that 50%, also my company paid 50%. So I ended up paying what, 4,500 for a master's degree. So having that, all this positivity that, I'm going to pay this 6 months, I'm going to not just finish the 12 credit, I'm going to finish as much as possible I can. Having the mentors with you who tailor the program specifically for you and for your needs, switching the classes to make most sense to you, makes it so much easier to go through this journey. And you realize that by the time you finish, then that's the starting point. Because now you feel and you mature on your mind about the subject that you're expert in, how much help you are to your company, to your community, how much it feels satisfying at the time when you give back, when you see different student, you're trying to avoid the mistake you've made so they can have a little easier journey. That is so satisfying. That's why I'm here, that you can take advantage of me at the end of today's session, so you can throw any question you have about WGU and the journey from start to end and what's after that.
Stacy, you're muted.
Thanks, Safid. Rookie error, right? I was just talking earlier, right before we started, about people who don't know how to use the technology. They've been using their entire professional careers. It's fine. It happens. Thanks, Safid. We appreciate it. My favorite part of my job is connecting with students and alums. I love your stories. I love the unique journeys that you take to get to wherever it is you end up on the paths that you're traveling. I am going to briefly introduce your alumni team. So WGU is broken into 6 regions. Each region has an alumni relations liaison. I am based out of the Northwest, so the lovely area you can see on the map. Diane, who is also here with us, is based in the West. Diane lives in San Diego. Danielle resides in New Hampshire and is based in the Northeast. I believe I saw Michelle in the attendees here. Michelle lives in Tennessee and is based in the Southeast. Nancy is based out of Texas and covers our South region. Ginny is based in Missouri and covers our Midwest region. And then Roxanne is based in the Central region. She lives in Ohio and covers that region. So if you reside in any of those areas, feel free to reach out to us directly. We love to interact. You will be getting, we plan all of the events and such for our individual regions. Let's talk a little bit about alumni events. Live events are my favorite part of my job. They allow me to interact directly with people. They allow me to hear all of those wonderful stories. And we really try and offer something back to you attending a live event besides just feeding you. We also have a plethora of online events that are offered. Not everybody digs a live event, and sometimes you're not located in an area where those live events work great for you. In the next little bit, we have just this week, we are incredibly busy events wise. I would highly recommend there's a School of Business virtual speed networking event that is coming up this Thursday. And there's also an in-person event that is coming up on Thursday in Chicago. Over the next month, we have a number of events. There is October 5th, there is a Kansas City alumni outing that you can RSVP for. Diane is hosting a networking mixer in in Sacramento on October 8th. I am doing a live event in Seattle on October 10th. And then wrapping up the month of October, we've got another live event in St. Louis that you can RSVP for. We will send out, following the conclusion of this meeting, we will send out a link, or we'll send out a one-pager that has links to all of these websites that we talk about so that you can just link directly to it and RSVP directly through there. Additionally, WGU is one of the only universities that exists that offers you career and professional development resources through your entire journey. So when you're a student, when you're an alum, after you've graduated, we have a phenomenal career and professional development team. You are familiar with one aspect of it, Handshake, because that is probably what led you here. Handshake is great for job searching, but we also have resources for resume and interview prep. And you can meet one-on-one with our career advisors to go over your resume, to go over interview prep, to do mock interviews so that you can help. And if that's not your thing, if you would prefer to just record a mock interview and send it in to get feedback on it, because that's less nerve-wracking, feel free. They offer that as well. We are a fairly new team, so chapters are kind of ever evolving for us. I would highly recommend, if you are an alum, encouraging you to join our Alumni Ambassadors program, our WGU Ambassadors program. We'll have that link as well. It allows you to be involved and connect with alums on a more direct basis. So one-on-one, we have meetings once a quarter, and then you will be in the know as soon as chapters develop and what that looks like moving forward. So, and Diane, I will let you take our next segment.
Hi everyone, I'm Diane Marin, and as Stacy mentioned, I'm based out of San Diego and I cover California, Arizona, and Nevada. So definitely I saw someone, a few people in the chat from Sacramento. Please come to our event, or Nevada would love to touch base with you. And I'm going to highlight some of the awesome technology we have. So first and foremost, LinkedIn groups. So if you're not part of the Western Governors LinkedIn group, please do join us. And then we also have a WGU alumni group. And not sure if you know, but the Western Governors group has over 285,000 people in it. And if you go to the alumni tab, you can search people by where they work, where they live, what they do, what they studied, and what they're skilled at. So even though you may have gone to school and you have done your own journey, please know that there's 285,000 people in that group. And then, as Stacey mentioned, we are growing our alumni group. So we're at 54,000 strong, and we need you to help us grow that. And again, you can search posts in that group so you can find other people that you can connect with and build your network. And then a few of you, or maybe you may be familiar with LinkedIn or you may not be, please know that career and professional development does offer workshops or YouTube videos on how best to build your LinkedIn and have some brand awareness and presence on that to help you while you're job searching. And then also, I'm going to do a plug for LinkedIn Learning. I'm not sure how many of you are taking advantage of LinkedIn Learning, but there is also a great way to learn how to use it. But there's so many sessions on every topic you can think of, and not every university has that for their students and alumni. So definitely take advantage of it since it's free. Just as a reminder, there's no cost to be part of our Alumni Association, and once you graduate, you're automatically a member. And then also, as a new team, we are constantly trying to figure out how to better connect you so you can expand your network. And we're launching 2 new platforms pretty soon. The first one is Ask a Grad, and it's for both students and alumni. And it's going to be an easy, convenient, and accessible way to ask each other questions and to get professional advice. The great thing about this is you don't need an app, registration, or a login, so you can submit your question. Your question will go out to a handful of people so that they can respond. If they don't respond, it'll go out to a few more people. But again, another great way to meet someone, to get your questions answered, and to start building your network right now. If you're a student, don't wait till you graduate. Let's build it now and get you connected to other great alumni and other opportunities. And then secondly, the platform that's coming soon, so you all get a sneak preview since you're here today, is WGU Connect. And a few of you may already be on WGU Connect because the university is launching it for courses and groups. And what we're doing is we're building an alumni community open to everyone, open to students, open to alumni, and another way to connect with each other, expand your network, and unlock career opportunities. Even though you went to school online, we want to make sure that we are here for you and you can connect. As I'm saying this, and I see this in the chat, feel free to drop your LinkedIn in there and let's connect with a couple people before you get off today and meet them. And then lastly, and most importantly, we can only reach you if we know if you update your information with us. So we encourage you to update your information with us so you can get our e-newsletter, so you can hear about our in-person events, our virtual events, and all the benefits and discounts that are available to you. And look up who's attending. Maybe it's your neighbor, maybe it's someone in your state, hey, maybe it's someone in your company. And definitely connect with us, but connect with them too, and tell other people about WGU. So now I'm going to pass it off to Stacey, who's going to talk about how to pay it forward.
I mean, Stacey can, but I'm going to instead.
Oops, sorry, Danielle.
That's okay. That's okay. Hi, guys. I'm Danielle. I'm sort of like Oz with the voice behind the curtain right now. I'm sharing my screen, so there's just too much going on, so my camera's off. But as Stacey said, I am in New Hampshire, so I am in the Northeast region, which is the largest in terms of number of states. So 12 states, pretty much Maine to Virginia. So we have a large coastline over here hanging out in the Northeast. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to wrap it up by talking about how to pay it forward in terms of career, meaning how you can help other people in their career. And we hear this a lot from alumni, that they want to help other people advance and progress and graduate and all these things. So that's why we're talking about paying it forward. So the first thing to cover in this sort of segment is Owl's Nest, and we're covering this because this is one of the few things, LinkedIn being the other one, that you can access as both a student and an alum sort of at the same time, which is cool. So Owl's Nest is sort of like a Reddit with just a WGU twist. So there's threads, there's channels, and it's sort of gamified. So you, for example, complete the online scavenger hunt. That is one of the channels, and you can basically exchange your points you earn for a prize. And that's, of course, in the form of WGU swag, because that's the best. Gift cards are also an option, so you can do your holiday shopping that way. It's really fun. I was actually perusing this morning, looking at the threads, and there was one that was talking about job boards. So that was pretty neat. Handshake got a shout out on Owl's Nest this morning. Other recommendations. And there's two ways you can use Owl's Nest to pay it forward. One way is just by answering people's questions. So Afid kind of spoke to this. You can use him as a resource. I see lots of people posting questions in Owl's Nest. Someone recently who was transitioning different industries asking for what people in the industry thought were important skills to develop. So you can jump in, nothing but your opinion and a few minutes of your time to help someone progress in their journey. So that's one way you can use Owl's Nest as a pay it forward tool. The other way is through the Refer a Friend program, which is exactly what it sounds like. So there is a page to put in a friend, family member, whoever's name, email address, if you think that WGU could be of benefit to their life. And you earn points if they begin an application to WGU, and you earn points if they submit an application to WGU. So that's another way to pay it forward through the Owl's Nest platform. Again, you can use this as both a student and alum, and this is behind your single sign-on login. So no extra logins. We know that we have a lot of different logins for things. So this is one that already exists, which is awesome. Okay, the next thing we're going to cover is share a story, which is sort of used the same way that maybe the word testimonial might be used. So we use those in exchange with each other. And this is not a super obvious way to pay it forward, but it's really important to mention. Afid just did this with you all. He just kind of gave you all the gift of sharing his story and wisdom. And the Share a Story platform is online. It's within the Alumni Resources webpage. So this is one that you can do only when you're an alum. And it's sort of, I think of it as offering inspiring content. And I'm sure that Diane, RJ, Stacy would agree that seeing these stories that our alumni submit is what gets us through a lot of our days. So it's really, don't underestimate the power of just sharing your story. It's about 10 questions like, why did you enroll in WGU? What were some of the obstacles you faced? What are you most proud of? Gimmies, they're not too bad to fill out. It's very quick. Our internal communications team might grab a story and share it. We get a report every month, our team, so we might be able to reach out to you and make a connection. Actually, it's one of the ways that we find people to do speaking engagements like this. So that's something else to consider. That will also be on the link that we're going to send out. The link to that will be on the document that Stacy mentioned, so you can find that easily. And the last thing is the ambassador program, which Stacy plugged, so thank you for that. So we've got about 300 alumni ambassadors right now. Afid is one of them. That's actually how we found him. So one of our colleagues, Michelle, shout out Michelle, recommended Afid as a standout speaker and alum, and she knew him because he was an ambassador. So this is a really easy way to sort of put your hand up and say, like, yes, I want to be engaged. Pick me. Let me know when there's ways I can help. So sort of by definition, the Alumni Ambassador Program is paying it forward. There's an application for that. We're also going to link it. And another sort of benefit of being an ambassador is that it's sort of like a group within itself. So there is an Owl's Nest thread for ambassadors. Ambassadors are a chapter in themselves. So it's a sort of a way to connect with other people who are alums who are looking to be involved and engaged. And it's not geographically based or industry based or anything like that. So you never know who you might bump into of those hundreds of people who are ambassadors. And Afid, you're paying it forward just by being here today. So thank you for that. And I'm going to toss the mic back to RJ to take us into some Q&A.
Thank you, all of you, for sharing. We are going to start the Q&A, so I ask if you do have questions, feel free to post those into the chat, and we'll read those off. Or if you'd like to come off mute and ask, just raise your hand. Raise your hand, we'll call on you, and you can ask any question. And if the presenters don't mind, I'd love to jump in first and ask a question. Really pertaining to building their professional network with other alumni. What are some recommendations that you might have to get started in that process? Is there anything specific that you recommend? Maybe it's better prepare for an upcoming alumni event in person or virtual. Is there anything specific that you might recommend to people? And that's for anybody if they wanted to jump in.
I would say everything is here. It's your mindset. Just like you are hesitant to reach out because you're newly there in WGU or you're newly just graduated, the other person in front of you, they're thinking the same way. So someone needs to take the first step. The advice is don't sell yourself short because the accomplishment you've made by just making the decision that you want to pursue higher education, it's tremendous. So you should be proud of that. You already succeeded, you already accomplished your first goal, starting a higher education. Secondly, you are so valuable to everyone else. Your experience is different than anyone else. Anything you can say, it will help in some way, in some different shape, another person. So it's fine to connect even if you're in technology and the other person is in healthcare, because the experience of going through the same college, it might overlap. So just those are a few points that will get you started and give you a push to start with this, with the growing your network.
That was great advice. I would say run down the list that we're going to send you in that technology section. If you're on LinkedIn, I mean, that's a really easy one. Owl's Nest is an easy one. And I hate to use the word lurk, but even if all you do is lurk and just kind of see what's out there and who's out there and what's going on, then that's a really good way to start. If we're talking about just like one step to take, just get yourself in the same space as other people, even if it's virtual.
I see a question in the chat. So, Alex, you were asking, what can you expect when you attend an in-person event? So, all the events are going to be different. So, we're going to share the event link. But, for example, for upcoming speed networking events, they're virtual, they're online, and it's a great opportunity to meet, between 5 and 8 new people and learn about their journey and share yours and connect with them. I had a recent event in Long Beach, and we included networking bingo, and we allowed people to just talk to each other, brief remarks, and really just wanted to get to know you. And if you're an introvert, talk to us, and we know who's there, and we're happy to connect you. So we had a student who attended and was interested in talking to alumni in cybersecurity. So we got to introduce them to a couple of alumni in cybersecurity. So they're fun events. We are a new team, so we want to make sure we're feeding you, that you have fun. And we're also connecting you because some of you may be looking for jobs or referrals or other networking opportunities. So come out, meet us, join us, and check it out. And LinkedIn is a good way to meet other people too before you get there, or connect with them at the event and continue that connection moving forward.
Afid, what kind of
Every live
things
event.
to?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I-
No, go ahead,
I'm
Danielle.
wondering if Afid can speak to anything that he's attended that might illustrate this a little bit. Sorry, Stacey.
You might notice, yes, it's focused on networking, but the goal is not just you're going to meet this person for that 1 hour and you leave. The goal is we are all working. So if you are an analyst or if you are in the help desk and you meet someone who is in a different company, a bigger company, then the goal is to keep that connection, because you don't want to be at the same place forever. So there is always a fruitful and there's always an opportunity that this networking is going to get me somewhere else. And on top of that, sometimes you will notice some of the previous events, we had people that they were not just graduate, they were not a student, but they were actually some of like hiring or a business partners that they were looking for people to bring into their company. And if those events are able to bring those business people, then you are in direct contact with the hiring people. You're not going through the sort of resumes, you're not going through some sort of AI parsing the resumes, and because of the wording in your resume, you got not picked. So you're directly presenting yourself and your soft skills that the paper does not do justice. So there's so much benefits besides just, I'm going to say hi and leave.
I know at least in the Northwest region, we tend to bring in partner involvement too. WGU has a lot of relationships with business partners outside of the WGU or stratosphere. So we bring in a lot of partner involvement. So you're going to be talking with real employers that work in your community, making those connections. And we try and make them fun. I try and not make them boring, but our events really do range the complete gamut. I did a Rockies game earlier this summer. My next event is more career focused and has resume reviews and mock interviews and stuff like that. So they really do go all across the board.
Any other questions that people might have? Melissa, it looks you're a little choppy coming in. Can't hear you. Let's try to post that into the chat. Awesome. Ooh, I love that question. Melissa had a question. Can anybody share a story about how networking with an alumni yielded better results than passively sending out interviews?
I had a friend that we decided to go through a bachelor's degree in WGU, and it was her first step from being an employee at I think she was at like a healthcare facility, to be in technology. And the reason is because usually your employee will trust you because you're still employed with them. So your opinion has some value to them. If you think this person is good because you would like to work with them because they have the same work habits, then there is a high possibility then your reference will take the position. So this lady, she got a first job as an analyst because of our connection with each other. So yes, there is that possibility. And from there, she just moved on to a bigger company and she started moving to teams from like threat hunting to intelligence gathering and something too big now. And all that was because of the spark and the connection she initiated with alumni of the WGU.
Not necessarily alumni marketing related, but I have been with WGU for about 8 years. I spent my first 6 years as a program mentor. So I mentored in the MBA HM program for a very long time. My first manager was actually my mentor when I went through the MBA program. So as much as I would like to say it's not what you know, it's who you know, unfortunately. And I think all of those connections just open the door. All I think any of us need is for somebody to open the door so that our skills can shine, so that your soft skills can shine, so that you can break through that dumb ATS software that any job hunter these days loves to hate so much. So I think that introducing yourself to more people, networking more broadly, you just need helps you get that foot in the door, helps you slide in.
It's worth mentioning too that this is a place where RJ's team and our team have some overlap. So we try to make friends with alums who we know are in recruiting and hiring positions. We work together. So it's definitely on our radar.
I'm just going to throw out there, coming from the career side, I forget what the exact statistic is, but it's over 80% of jobs that get posted and those get hired. There's some form of networking that went into that. So it does play a huge factor. So that's what when I was doing career advising here at WGU, I would always recommend that to people, setting up informational interviews and trying to build your connections that way. So that's a great opportunity. One, gain insight into an organization, but two, it's connecting, and maybe it is another alum where that's the intro is, hey, I saw that you were a WGU alum, would love to just chat about your current position. How did you leverage to potentially get that role? So we have this giant alumni network here at WGU. Take advantage of it. I think that's just the perk of you earning your degree from WGU. Like, there's this huge network. Take advantage of it. So fantastic question.
Yeah, take advantage of the resources too. I've worked in higher ed for over. I feel like daily I'm amazed at, like, wow, students get that, but alumni have it for the rest of their life. So please check out our website and take advantage of all those benefits, career and professional development benefits for life. YouTube 24/7 when you need it. We have, 285,000 people on LinkedIn. If you're not sure who to connect with us, and we'll see how we can connect with you. But definitely take advantage of all this and be a lifelong learner and enjoy it, connect, and we'd love to see you at the next event or the next webinar, whatever works best for you.
And just letting everybody know, we will be, the alumni team was so kind to share out a lot of these links. So they will be sharing out some of these links in the follow-up email that will have the recording and the survey. So just an FYI, keep an eye out for those links coming from them. Any other questions that people might have? And yes, Alex, we will be sharing out all of this information, all of these links, so you will have access to those. All right. Well, one, thank you again for jumping in session. Big thank you to the presenters for jumping in, providing this information. Again, like, we have such this huge alumni network. Please take advantage of it, and please take advantage of all of these resources. Diane just mentioned it. We have these services. You have these services for life. So an opportunity to access those. you know, if there's networking sessions in your area, like definitely take advantage of those in person, or they might be virtual. And there is a question that did come into the chat as we're going through this. Is there one-on-one coaching support and resume on resume and LinkedIn optimization? Yes, in our career and professional development office. So you can connect with one of the career advisors there, and they would work with you one-on-one with that support. They also provide workshops on this as well. If you weren't looking just for one-on-one, we're just trying to get some quick information. You have the ability to access those. So yes, absolutely, and you have access for life. So in 20 years from now, you need to go in and access this. You have those services for life. Awesome. Any other questions? I know a lot of people shared their LinkedIn links. Make sure you're connecting with people. Even if you're not even, you know, in the same industry, start building that network. You have no idea that might lead to an opportunity moving forward. But thank you again to the alumni team jumping in, presenting this fantastic content. We greatly appreciate it. Just a reminder, session was recorded. So if you want to go back and reference anything at all during the session, maybe it's going back and listening to what a feed had to say as far as taking advantage of the alumni network, go back and access that. Also, there will be a survey and these links will be sent out as well. So thank you everybody for jumping in and have a fantastic rest of the week. A reminder, this is the last week of Career Quest. So if you haven't attended a session yet, definitely jump in. You can register for those up to the minute that it starts. So definitely go in and register for those and keep an eye out for those alumni events as well. So definitely get registered for those. But thank you again for jumping into today's session. We greatly appreciate it and have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday. Take care.